Our next question is from Bill Harwood of CBS News.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bill Harwood. For Jim, I'm curious when you think the export control issue will be resolved. I mean, you know, you've had an SLS countdown in one form or another for many, many months, if not years. And so I think it's a little hard for some of us to understand why we can't get more details at this point, or why PAO isn't allowed to provide real-time coverage from the firing room given the time that's passed. I mean, just as a point of reference, you know, NASA used to hand out shuttle countdown bar charts before each flight, and it's pretty hard to understand why one was okay and this one isn't, especially given it's the same engines and essentially the same cryo system. So I'm just curious when this might get resolved, because it's hard for us to understand. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. And I probably should move a little further away from Catherine before I answer this question. Certainly, we've heard your and others' concerns about the launch count and what we can share. I can tell you that for wet dress, we're actually using those as our test case as to how the team uses the loops. I think you remember from shuttle, the launch director loop and the NASA test director loop, and then we had anomaly loops that never made their way out for shuttle. So we're trying to use wet dress to say, first of all, we need to get further into the count than we've been able to get thus far to understand everything that comes across the loops. We're having our PAO folks participate in the wet dress. We're recording those so we can kind of go back and say, what can we really make available for launch? We're looking at historical launches, shuttle, other government launches as to what's out there. And we're looking at what can we have from a commentary perspective over the parts where the export control folks are worried about what might be shared. So I can tell you that as recent as, I can't remember now, the weeks run together, yesterday or today, I shared a couple links to some launch commentary with folks, so we can really understand what we can and can't share, and we'll work closely with the export control folks. But I certainly understand your concern and the history there, Bill, and want to tell you that we're working to give the best coverage we can when it comes time for launch.